Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies. I'm here today to show you guys something that I always include in my vintage retro journals, and this is element or item number 3 of a 3-part series that I've been doing. The first one were bunk bed pockets. I will link that video down below. And the second one is, what is it? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, it's a tip in from the inside. So I always try to include that. And number 3, which is what we're going to talk about today, are the faux center of the signature things. And what I mean by that is when we have, let me pick like a bottom one, yeah, so it's not so close to you guys. But these are my journals. I have all 6 of them already with their signatures ready to be sewn in, but the spines are not done yet. So the center of the signature is where we can see the whole picture. So if you have a picture that you want to show, like this one, like you want the whole thing to show, you need a center of the signature. But I had, in the past especially, a lot of magazine images that were big that I wanted to include, but I couldn't because I only have one center to each signature. So what I started doing was making like a faux center of the signature pages. So this is an example of one. I wanted to keep this image intact like this, and this is not the center of the signature. So today I'm going to show you how I do that. I mean, it's not that complicated. I'm sure you already figured it out by looking at that picture. But the first thing I do, I want to include this cake. This is from a 1970s magazine, and I love cakes from the 70s and before. I think they look so, like, what's the word? Decadent and playful at the same time. It's just so fun. So what I do, and I'm not going to cut this because it's easier to tear it. I mean, I'll make a straighter line if I just tear it, hopefully. So I tear the picture in half, tear the page in half, and I find a good page to do this on. I would have said this is a good contender, but she's right there. So we're not going to cover her up. These are the bunk bed pockets. Like I said earlier, I'll link this video in a card and link it down below. I don't want to cover up ledger paper because that's writing space. Here's another one that I did right here. So, but I kept it together. So since we have one in that signature already, let's go ahead and see if I can do one in the back signature. So when I was putting my papers together, I was kind of keeping in mind, there's another one. This is one picture. I love that image of them. That just looks like it's just an image from that time. All right, I think I'm going to use this page. So let's go ahead and get these out of the way. One is going to go on this side, and sometimes I have to trim off just a little because gluing can get a little hectic. I think I will trim off just a little bit. Just a little sliver because these look better if they're bigger images. All right, then the next thing I do is an optional step, but I do it because for some reason sewing is challenging for me because the page always ends up wrinkling. So I put kind of a lot of glue, almost as if I'm not going to sew it, but I am. So I put the glue and then I come to the inner edge of the page. And smooth that down. Now, if you're really good at sewing and you don't need to do this step, you don't have to. I used to not do this step, but it's kind of hard for me to get it on straight. So there's one side. Now we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So I chose a page that had no writing space on it. That's just book page that's not pretty. So that's what we're covering up. We don't want to like cover up something good. Okay, now let me line this up. Sometimes it's hard to see, well, I guess because I'm filming a video especially, but it's hard to see where the exact center is. And then what I do after this, since the signatures are not sewn into the spine yet, they're not sewn into the book yet, I take this to my sewing machine. I mark the spot where it goes, and then I run a straight stitch all the way around. If you glue it down really well, you don't need to run a stitch. And then I'll take the other side after the glue dries, of course, and then I run a stitch all the way down. But yeah, it's super simple, but it maximizes what you can do with your pages. And I just really like including big magazine pages in the vintage retro journals because I have a lot of big magazine pages. But I think this one here. But so let me show you some of the ones that I've done already. This one is super cool. I wanted it because of this Afghan right here. That's what it is, right? That type of blanket. And she looks so 70s, so I wanted to keep her in there. And God, if you guys could see my desk right now, it's a mess. See, like this one is a true center of the signature. It's a cover of a magazine, so that was good. But I don't think I have any in there. This is a cover. That's the first cover I have done, and I love how it turned out. So this is another one. Faux center of the signature, as you can see, and I still need to run a stitch around there. I think I wasn't completely even, but I think I kind of put like 1 or 2 in each. And that's what I do with my journals. So none of them really have the same format, and I do that just because, for no other reason than I'm not consistent. There's another one of these blankets. I love this image. I already stitched around this one, and as you can see, it's a faux center. But I think my favorite one is this one. Love that. All right, but if you liked this idea, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. And if you're not subscribed yet, I hope you'll subscribe. If you have any questions at all on this, let me know down below in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.